Celebrate recovery from the grief of a divorce, poor relationship choices, and the consequences of those choices. I still struggle with not being able to manage or control the outcome of things, just trusting God with all things, even though He's come through for me in so many ways. It's just hard to trust sometimes. During this season, when everything is unpredictable, it's just like literally the day by day, step by step of recovery has just helped me be able to maintain my faith and my hope in Christ. And so, my name is Angela.
Hi, Angela.
It's a very long introduction.
Golly.
Just a shout out to our people on the other side of this campus. Avery, we love you, and other family that are watching. It's kind of fun for us to. We've never taken CR on the road like this before, so it's kind of a fun.
We never could have.
No, yeah, we haven't. Okay, couple of announcements that I want to announce that are really exciting. First, this next Sunday, a week from today, New Heights Church is going to be having an outside worship service at the Boys and Girls Club Sunday morning. You'll bring your lawn chairs, they'll do social distancing, but we're trying to come together as a body, still where it's safe, outside on the field. And so if you want to join us, if you don't have a home church, or if you just want to get together with our church, it's going to be Sunday morning, the 12th. Outside, we're going to have a worship service, so we hope that you can join us for that. Also, I want to take a second to promote something that I think would be a great thing for a lot of people who are isolated or stuck at home to be able to participate in this year, and that is the Celebrate Recovery National Summit. Normally, we would travel to Mission Viejo, California, or they did one on the east side for Kentucky. They've done those for several years in a row, to get room and board and flight and travel. Yeah. I know normally it costs upwards of $1,000 or $1,500. When we've gone before, we've had to like budget for it and save for it.
And the tickets were like $150 a piece or something, or $200.
Yeah, they're really expensive. Yeah. But this year, because of COVID and because of all the things that are happening, they're actually doing an online version where you can see the incredible classes that they have, classes that just really help your recovery process. I mean, classes about being a leader, classes about how to work the program. There's some really great opportunities. And so we're going to, in the link after this, when we finish posting this, we're going to post the link to this year's CR Summit. I believe the cost is in the range of like $35 for a ticket, and you get the weekend pass to be able to watch all of the incredible teaches that Rodney, you're going to see Rodney, you're going to see Mac and Mary Owen, you're going to see some of our other incredible leaders, you're going to see obviously the Bakers, John Baker, Cheryl Baker, they're all going to be bringing you just some really great material that celebrate recovery or recovery minded. So be looking for that down below, and also over the next month we're going to promote it. I think it's at, I should have probably pulled up the details, but I have them written down at home and not in Colorado.
I could Google them, I guess.
Amanda, do me a favor and post the deets down in the comments below.
Yeah.
She has them. Yeah, that's an easier thing. Yeah. We're still counting on our Fayetteville
support
people.
Staff.
Yes, our amazing, incredible crew of volunteers that's helping us. And so
sure.
I would really encourage you, maybe we can even get a watch party together for those who have signed up to that and watch it, because it'll be a really good thing that you'll get to experience what we normally wouldn't, but we do this time. And so that's the announcements. Just a reminder too, we have some great resources available for you. If you're in the Northwest Arkansas area and you have been hit financially or a job or don't have funds to even buy food, we can get you resources. We can get you food. We put together a food pantry. The Celebrate Recovery team actually did. We don't want any of our forever family going without food or having needs that we within the body can meet. And so if you would just reach out to us and let us know what your circumstances are, we would love to be able to help you. Also, we have an incredible team of leaders who have set aside time to pray for not only our Celebrate Recovery, but our participants, our leaders. And so if you have a specific prayer request that we can pray with you, join with you, just be there for you in whatever it is that you're going through, we want you to know that that's available. Just shoot us a message. We're going to do something fun right now. We're going to kick it over to us in a different spot, obviously pre-recorded, but we wanted you to get to see the incredible Pikes Peak in Colorado. And so we did the 8 principles outside. And so we hope this turns out okay.
Give them a little bit outside. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, give us a little bit of grace in this process. We did it on Chad's phone.
We think it'll work okay.
Yeah, here we go. So here is us,
Chad and Angela,
doing the 8 principles
on Josh's deck
in front of Pikes Peak.
Here we go.
Hi Forever family, we just wanted to include you on our little getaway here to the beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado. Behind us is Pikes Peak, elevation really high.
14,000 something feet, anyway.
Like that. So we decided to kick it outside for the 8 principles tonight, and so we're going to read through these hopefully with just as much fun as we normally do, trying to get these back and forth. You want to go?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Principle 1. Realize I'm not God. Admit that I'm powerless to control my tendency to do the wrong thing and that my life is unmanageable. Happy are those who know they are spiritually poor. Matthew 5:3.
Principle 2. Earnestly believe that God exists, that I matter to him, and that he has the power to help me recover. Happy are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Matthew 5:4.
Principle 3. Consciously choose to commit all my life and will to Christ's care and control. Happy are the meek. Matthew 5:5.
Principle 4. Openly examine and confess my faults to myself, to God, and to someone I trust. Happy are the pure in heart. Matthew 5:8.
Principle 5. Voluntarily submit to any and all changes God wants to make in my life and humbly ask him to remove my character defects. Happy are those whose greatest desire is to do what God requires. Matthew 5:6.
Principle 6. Evaluate all my relationships, offer forgiveness to those who have hurt me, and make amends for harm I've done to others when possible, except when to do so would harm them or others. Happy are the merciful. Matthew 5:7. Happy are the peacemakers. Matthew 5:9.
Principle 7. Reserve a daily time with God for self-examination, Bible reading, and prayer in order to know God and his will for my life and to gain the power to follow his will.
No verse for that one. It got shortchanged.
Yep.
Okay, then we jump into Principle 8. Yield myself to God to be used to bring this good news to others, both by my example and by my words. Happy are those who are persecuted because they do what God requires. Matthew 5:10. All right.
It is nice here, y'all.
It
It's
really
like
is.
75 degrees.
It's lovely.
The sun's shining.
We wanted to include you in it. This is us including
We're bringing you to Colorado with us.
to our lovely time. Did you switch it?
That turned out okay.
It was
didn't it?
okay.
That wasn't too bad. We apologize for any jealousy or anything that might have brought
No.
up, stumbling.
It was fun. We had a good
Yeah,
time out there trying
sure.
to do that, trying to read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the portion where we actually get to worship together, and we have just been so blessed. Justin, our worship leader, is working hard. Normally it's the Crosstown Band, but this time it's the Crossland Band because we're actually going all the way across several states
awesome.
back to Arkansas to worship with Justin. And so if you have a celebratory chip, remember the celebrate part of our Celebrate Recovery is that we have journeyed with you for your sobriety or surrender date. So we would love to celebrate with you. If you've got 30, 60, or 90 days, 6 months or 9 months, or a year or multiple years, and you feel safe or comfortable putting that in the comments, please do. We would love to just celebrate with you and let you know you're doing a great job and we're here with you. And so let's kick it over to Justin.
I choose to worship, I choose to bow. Though there's pain in the offering, I lay it down. Here in the conflict, when doubt surrounds, though my soul is unraveling, I choose you now. I will praise you through the fire, through the storm and through the flood. There is nothing that will ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy, you are good when life is not. You will always and forever be my song. I build my altar right here and now. In the midst of the darkest night, it won't burn out. For you are perfect, no matter what. In the joy of the suffering, I sing it loud. I will praise you through the fire, through the storm and through the flood. There is nothing that could ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy, you are good when life is not. song. You will always and forever be my song. When the enemy says I'm done, I'll lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I'll lift my praises high. Till the darkness turns to dawn, I'll lift my praises. I choose to worship. I choose you now. When the enemy says I'm done, I'll lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I'll lift my praises high. Until the darkness turns to dawn, I'll lift my praises. I choose to worship. I choose you now. I choose to worship. I choose you now. I will praise you in the fire, through the storm and through the flood. There is nothing that will ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy. You are good when life is not. You will always and forever be my song. When the enemy says I'm done, I'll lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I'll lift my praises high. Until the darkness turns to dawn, I'll lift my praises. I choose to worship. I choose you now. I choose to worship. I choose you now. I choose to worship. I choose you now. Say that you love me, don't say that you love me, 'cause I don't know how to be yours. Say that you want me, don't say that you want me, 'cause I don't know how to be yours. 'Cause I still act like an orphan, I guess. My heart breaks to confess. And even while you hold me, as I cry on the floor, 'cause I still don't know how to be yours. Say that you love me, don't say that you love me, 'cause I don't know how to be yours. Say that you want me, don't say that you want me, 'cause I don't know how to be yours. 'Cause I still act like an orphan, I guess. My heart breaks to confess. Even while you hold me, as I cry on the floor, 'cause I still don't know how to be yours. Love me or hate me, I'm not going anywhere. Leave me or take me, you still bear my signature. Know me or not, seen or forgotten, I'm not walking out on you. So love me or hate me, I'm not going anywhere. Leave me or take me, you still bear my signature. Know me or not, seen or forgotten, I'm not walking out on you. So love me or hate me, I'm not going anywhere. Leave me or take me, you still bear my signature. Know me or not, seen or forgotten, I'm not walking out on you. No, I'm not walking out on you. I'm not walking out on you.
All right.
Thanks, Justin, man. You always do a great job. We so appreciate you showing up
Absolutely.
and doing it and being faithful to that. I mean, I know you put lots of time and effort into it, so thanks for leading us in that and kind of bringing worship into our home and just Sunday nights. We appreciate
Sorry,
it.
we were, I think, freezing up a little bit. We're trying to get through with the Wi-Fi, so I think it came back. I hope it did. Okay, so tonight we're going to do something a little bit different than a lesson. Oh, also, I want to just touch back. Amanda, one of our volunteers, was able to fill out in our comment section that summit is at the end of July. It's $49, and she put all the details there, including the registration. So I know I, for one, am going to be attending. I think she's going to be attending too. There's a couple of us that are registering, and so that would be really great if we could do that together. If you want to do it also, maybe we can get a watch party together. We'll have more details about that, but you can check that out. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different. We have been doing the lessons each week, and you know when we do regular Celebrate Recovery, we normally have a testimony one week and then a teach the next week, and since we can't do a full testimony online for anonymity and confidentiality reasons, we had just been doing lessons only, and I thought, man, we need to mix it up a little bit, and so I love our volunteers so much. I love our leaders because they're, it's an
They
interesting
just dive
thing.
in, you know.
When people first get into recovery, obviously on anonymity and confidentiality is so important. Not just first, but it is important to keep the safety of the group intact and to make sure that it's safe for people to share what they're going through. But as people progress in their healing and they actually get the freedom that they've been looking for, it's hard actually to keep them quiet about their recovery. They not only want to share with everybody that's within Celebrate Recovery, they feel really open to share outside of CR so that people can join and get the healing that they need also. And so I love so many of our leaders when we do things like community events or when we even do things like go online. They wear their CR shirts to Walmart. They're okay telling people that they're in Celebrate Recovery. They, by choice, give up their anonymity and confidentiality, as do we. Everybody knows we're in CR.
And at some point, you're like, if you're not in CR, what are you doing? Because we're all kind of working on our stuff.
We don't
We're not judging the other people. I'm just kind of like, sometimes you go, how do I trust these people?
We just want to invite everyone to get healing and freedom like we have found. At
That's
any rate,
what I meant to say.
We wanted to just kind of touch back with some of our leaders that have been just so instrumental, not only in the Celebrate Recovery at New Heights growing, but just so many people that come within our community, within our Forever family, get healing because these leaders are pouring into the STEP studies, the open share groups, in and out of the times that we volunteer. And so we decided to do what we're calling a leader interview. And so we have an interview we're about to kick to that I did when we were still back in Fayetteville with just a tremendous leader, somebody who came into our program, and we've been blessed by it. And I'll let him share a little bit of his story. But this is kind of testimony-like because you get to hear part of his journey. And our hope is to just spread the word that Celebrate Recovery is a great place to find freedom for your hurts, habits, and hang-ups. And so let's kick it over to the interview that we did with our incredible leader, Dana. So here we are with our first leader interview. And so this is Dana. I'm going to actually let him introduce himself before we get started.
I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I struggle with drugs, alcohol, lust, food issues, forgetfulness, grief. My name is Dana.
Hey, Dana. I'm so glad that he was willing. Dana's always a willing participant. I try to rope him into things, and he says yes. So
willing has nothing to do with it.
So we wanted just to make this a little bit interactive, like I said, instead of testimonies. This is a little more applicable for something that's online on a social media feed. And so I'm just going to run Dana through a couple of questions. New Heights Celebrate Recovery started in 2013. And just about a year later, around our 1-year anniversary, Dana showed up. And so I'm just going to ask him a series of questions, and we'll be able to hear what his input on Celebrate Recovery is. So Dana, how'd you hear about Celebrate Recovery?
I got into first of all, I went to jail for possession of controlled substance. Should have went to prison. Lucked out and got put in the drug court, and being a part of the drug court program, I had to go to support groups such as AA and Celebrate Recovery, and I wasn't up for none of this. But it was a have-to deal, and pretty much it saved my life. I'm thankful for the program. I'm thankful for what it's done for me. I don't know.
I love hearing that we, people get to us all different kinds of ways, and I love hearing that we have a good relationship with places like drug court. I mean, there are a lot of people who get into situations and don't know how to get out of them, and so the fact that drug court and some of our other local, places like that will refer people to us, and so we appreciate that they said, hey, why don't you try this place, and then that you had the courage to come. That's the second step in this process. When you got here, I know you had said earlier when we were talking, you had never heard about Celebrate Recovery before that, had you?
No, never heard about it. Honestly, I didn't think I had a problem.
All of us are that way, Dane.
I didn't think I had a problem, and but the longer I come to meetings and the more I listened, the worse my problems was, and I had it pretty bad.
You learned a lot, huh?
I learned a lot.
Well, let's back up just a second. What was your very first impression when you showed up on that first night?
Oh, honestly, I couldn't believe everybody was as nice as they was. I was actually skeptical. I didn't think people could be that nice, and
you didn't trust us.
I didn't trust you. And I honestly thought there was no way this place was going to fix me.
Yeah.
I was hopeless.
I feel a little bit of that. Like I remember my first time at Celebrate Recovery. I don't know if I didn't think people were going to be mean, but I thought if everybody was struggling with these really hard things, then their faces would be downcast. They wouldn't be able to look you in the eye. And when I got to Celebrate Recovery on my first night, everyone was just friendly and welcoming, and I thought they must not have the problems I have. But as I stayed, I realized, nope, they had some hard problems too. They just have already had some time in their recovery. So I love that you share that we were nice. Now, remind me, you had court papers that you had to get signed, right?
Yep, I had to get a sheet signed. It was kind of degrading, embarrassing. Little did I know, though, getting a sheet signed was going to save my life.
It's an interesting thing because part of Celebrate Recovery is accountability. And it's a scary concept at first that you would be accountable to somebody. And I think that's what that paperwork kind of is. It's the court saying, hey, we need to make sure that you're here every week, and so we're going to get you to sign it. I can't tell you how many times Chad and I will sign court papers for people. And that's something we do. There are people who come and don't have things to sign, but there are other people who kind of need that little weekly reminder that I have to be here, and we sign the papers and you get it done. But something interesting about you, Dana, is at the end of the term of us signing your court papers, you decided to stay. Why'd you stay, Dana?
Well, after I got out of drug court, I had the option to leave. And I just kind of done the math, and I thought, well, I'm happier than I've ever been. I thought if I went back, if I stopped going to meetings, that I'd just end up back like I was. So I hung around, and here I am.
Yeah. We're sure glad you stuck around. You know, it's a hard thing for me. A lot of people will say, well, is Celebrate Recovery an institution? You know, a place where you stay. And it's not really an institution. There's a lot of people that come, get healthy, and then move on. But for me, I stayed too, because there's nothing like once you get plugged into community, having that week in and week out consistent faces, consistent people who accept you in your process. For me, that's what it was too. So we love seeing you every week. So let me ask you this. You've mentioned it a couple times, but you know, there was a time in your life when you kind of isolated and had some stuff going on. Then you found community, accepting community. You've said kind community. Tell me what that community means to you.
Well, actually, what it done for me is it give me another family. It give me another family to lean on.
Yeah,
And
it's our forever family.
you know, people with the same struggles that you've had, and you know, and they've pulled through it and overcome, and you know, I'm just thankful to be able to have people to reach out to, and you know, whenever you get in a tight spot or you need to, you know, ask somebody for some advice. Sometimes we don't want to go to our family for, you know, what they'll think of us, and you know, it gives us some place else to turn to.
Yeah. People who you know are going to be there, ready to respond. That's the thing about CR. Our leaders, much like Dana. You know, Dana is one of our leaders because he not only went through the program, but he stayed, he got the training, he became a sponsor, he went through Open Share. So now for our men that come to Celebrate Recovery, if they're in a tight spot, we got a lot of people who come from drug court, and we plug them right in with Dana first thing. Not only do they have somebody who they can call and reach out to, but Dana can say, hey man, I've been there and I know what that's like. Keep working the program. It's great the way, I think, the way Celebrate Recovery kind of not only keeps people in, but gives them an opportunity then to lead and help other people get to the same place they are. It's a really great way, I think, to build community, and it's one of the reasons I think our community is so safe. I love it too. Tell me there's a couple elements about Celebrate Recovery I want to process with you. One, something like Open Share. You know, people come to Celebrate Recovery and, you know, we say, hey, after the large group, go to Open Share, and people go, and Open Share is a place where it's gender specific and issue specific, and you sit in the groups and you kind of start to process your stuff. And I want to just get your personal experience when you got into Open Share. What was it like, and how long did it take you to start opening up?
Well, it was kind of scary for me. I wasn't much one to talk. I actually got into a group with a couple of fellas, and they had all kinds of things to talk about, and and I couldn't figure out where all this was coming from. And it probably took me a year. It probably took me a year before I started opening up and sharing my stuff, and you know, who would have thought sharing your stuff would ease the pain?
It really does, doesn't it?
Wasn't me.
But it provides freedom.
Yeah.
You know, I love Dana's story because so many people think they have to go to Open Share and immediately start sharing, and that's not true. We want to provide a safe environment in those Open Share groups where you can listen for a while. And I think listening to other people's stories, listening to other people being vulnerable and having the courage to share their stuff is a great way to kind of start going, okay, if I'm listening to this person and this person share and the group is accepting of them still, then maybe I have a safe place where I can kind of process my stuff too. And so it is a slow process. It doesn't happen immediately. You don't have to immediately come in and just kind of spill everything. Although if you feel comfortable and want to, you can. We just want to meet people right where they are. So I love to hear Dana say, you know, there's some people in there that were kind of talkative, and I kind of heard what they had to say, and it took me a while to get there, but I finally did. And then when I shared, man, there was freedom. Man, it started to feel less painful. And that's really what Celebrate Recovery is all about, you know. You know, there's another part of CR that is kind of hard when people hear about it, and that is sharing your inventory. When you get into a step study, you work through the journals, you work through the workbooks, you already have an accountability team, hopefully, and you get a sponsor, and you have to share that fourth step. Tell me a little bit about your experience with that.
Boy, me, I was hesitant. I really thought a lot of them a sponsor, and you know, I didn't want him to hate me, and I put it off to the last, procrastination, I guess I should say. I got a problem with that too. But anyways, I put it off for the last, just the last of the last that I could put it off. And after I shared all the stuff I thought was going to kill me, it didn't pull us apart. It just brought us closer together. Yeah. Something about somebody being in the ditch and, you know, reaching down and pulling you out.
I love to hear that.
Pretty powerful.
Thanks for sharing that, Dana.
Thank you, boss.
You know, it's really scary to think I got to share my hardest stuff with someone. And I've had those same fears, the idea that if I share this, then my sponsor's going to judge me, or the people in my step study are going to judge me. But I, sounds like, have the similar experience. I was met with the opposite. My sponsor loved me even more because I had the courage to share. And it was met with acceptance and grace and love. And that's so powerful that that's one of the reasons why the people on the other side of it who have already done it say, do it, it's worth it. It's scary, that's true. I'm not going to say it's not scary, huh, Dana? It is a little bit scary.
It is scary.
But you do it anyway, and on the other side of that, you start to feel freedom, and you start to see that acceptance. And man, that's really where the healing is. It's just incredible. Okay, one more question as we just kind of wrap this up. If there was somebody out there that was considering, I want to go to CR, I've heard about CR, but man, I just don't know. I don't know if I can share. I don't know if I can get my paper signed. I don't know if I want to share all my stuff with a sponsor. And so there's a hesitation because it is scary. Dana, what would you encourage them? What's something you might say to them to encourage them to take this step?
Well, there's a lot of pushing goes on in this program. And, you know, I would say don't be afraid of the things that you think is going to kill you, because it might just save your life.
True that. Dana, man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate
you. You're one
you
of our just most tremendous leaders. I love it. You always show up to serve. You're always willing to help somebody out. And it's just such an inspiration, I think, when other people come in and they get to see just even the transition that's happened in your life. For me, when I get to see the way Dana came in and the way Dana is now, I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that God didn't work in his heart and in his life. And we're all the better for it. So I really appreciate you. You know, we love you. You're part of our family now, our forever family for sure, but even more than that, in our hearts and our personal family. And so I appreciate your willingness to always just go with it. If I ask you to do something, he's always willing. So
not near as much as I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Dana. Man. All right, we're going to kick it back now. Thanks so much.
Golly. That's it.
Dana cries. I love that guy, man. I want to give him a hug.
It makes me cry too. It makes me cry too.
It's good to see him.
You know,
for sure.
There's just this tremendous thing that words I can't talk somebody into before they enter recovery. The tremendous thing that God's going to do in their heart through community and acceptance and freedom when they start to share and find the grace and love that they long for and they don't even know it. And so, God, I just feel like Chad and I are lucky because we kind of get to be on the front row of watching all of these lives come in that are at their most desperate, that are at their most devastated, that are at their most stuck. And we get to see this journey of God just working in their lives. And not only that, we get to see other people that who have come in before them being the actual ones who are pouring back in. And so a lot of times people come into CR and they're like, I'm worthless and I don't have anything to give and nobody's going to want me and I don't have any talent. And I'm like, lies, 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 lies. That's not true. Stick it out, get your healing. And then they start pouring in and you can just start to see even as they pour in, it even increases those who have gotten some health get even healthier because you get to see just how empowering it is for God to be using them in the journey. I mean, I think about the story of Paul, right? This guy that, you know, was not nice to Christians at all, was killing Christians, and God just reached into his life and said, hey, I'm going to blind you and then make you see again. And this time you're going to see the thing I want you to see. And I feel like a lot of times that's what Celebrate Recovery does. It's like, let me show you the thing I want you to see. And people come in and see their families different, see their community different, see their circumstances different. When other people come in who are broken, they see them different and they're able to pour in. And so I can't say enough about Dana and about some of our other leaders. I'm excited about more leaders getting interviewed so that you can kind of hear their story as we kind of continue this COVID online thing, trying to make it interactive. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I got a couple thoughts. So, and it's kind of Dana And I remember Dana coming in. I actually think I got to do his orientation. I remember it over at the old Ghost Center. But just thinking about Dana and how he came in, and I see a lot of people come in to CR, and I've done visitor orientation, I don't know, 100 times, 200 times, I don't know. But it's like, sometimes you see people come into recovery, and you know what? This guy, I think he might be serious. I know that sounds funny, because I think a lot of people, we think we're serious, but he came in and he's like, I'm going to do it. He said, tell me how to do it. He said, will you be my sponsor? And I said, you get in a step study, I'll be your sponsor. Let's do this thing, right? But he had a desperation about him. That said, I need to change.
Yeah.
Right? And I think sometimes people don't show up with that desperation. But I know that for me, I had desperation. I said, I've got to do something different in my life to change it. I want to be different than I am. And so what does it look like for me to be different? And I know that I saw that in Dana too. And I still see it in Dana. Yeah. He's still hungry. And he's still going after recovery. And he's still working hard. So those are all props for Dana. But just as I was listening to him, I'm like, you can't. I don't know if there's enough, like, at that front end, it's like, drug court and all they're humiliating things, but man, he had a desperation and a hunger to change that you weren't going to stop him. He was going to get better.
There's a shift. With the tell for us that somebody is desperate is the humility. If somebody comes in still like, I don't know if this program's for me, or I'm just here because somebody told me I have to, would you just go ahead and sign my pay? Like there's a
difference.
There's
an
a huge
difference.
Where we can kind of see, and we invest in both. Well, I mean, I don't care what brings you to CR. We want to invest in you and make it a safe place for you to get the healing that you need.
Yeah.
But there is, if we were bargaining people or betting people, there are people that we can bet on, like that person's going to get the healing that they need because they are coming to get the healing that they need. They know they need it. They're desperate for it. They have recognized that their life has become unmanageable if left to their own devices, and now they're asking for insight and they're asking for help, and they're taking the advice of those who are pouring into them. Dana is just one of the many leaders that we have that when they come in, they're like, tell me what I need to do. And we're like, okay, one of the guidelines is that we don't fix, or one of the guidelines is that we don't crosstalk. It's not our job to be in the driver's seat of your recovery. But if you come in and ask us, we absolutely will guide you. It's what we are here for, to say, hey, this is what works for us.
Yeah.
Try it on. Now we're going to ask you questions. How's it working? If it's not working, let's shift for you. What do we need to do a little bit differently? How do we need that? What does the relationship with your sponsor need to look like? With your accountability team need to look like? I have some people who I'm like, you need more than one meeting. You need to go to 3 meetings a week. Lucky for us in Northwest Arkansas, we have lots of Celebrate Recoveries that people can plug into.
Or 90 meetings in 90 days.
Yeah. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
we can help. But the people have to be desperate and humble enough to say, I'm willing to do that. And when they do, man, that it just like latches in. They get the freedom, and then
I was listening to you, and you said desperate, stuck, devastated.
Yeah.
Like when you're in your recovery process too. I'm like, I think there is just a difference. It's not that we're telling, and when people come in, we're not like trying to create like, I don't know, brainwashed CR people.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I wasn't desperate when I got there. I came because somebody told me to, and I still had that, I don't really know. For those of you who know my story, I'm like the poster child for who needs Celebrate Recovery, but I hadn't shifted in my heart yet. I come from just a experience and influence where you don't share your stuff, where you just kind of outperform it. And so I still believed that I was going to get through it. And I came to CR because somebody suggested it, and I thought, I'm just coming so that they can see I'm trying. And week in and week out, I cried and I cried and I cried, and God totally moved my heart. And the amount of people I know, I've several times in a row shouted out to Patty, who is a leader over at Christian Life Cathedral, an incredible leader who has been in Celebrate Recovery a long time. And she was one of those leaders who had gone through it and was there for other people. And she saw me walk in the door. She zoned right in and said, welcome, you're here for a reason. God has a plan for you. It makes me cry because she knew before I knew that I really needed it. But it was like several months in, I was still angry. I was still mad. I still was frustrated. And it just took week in and week out for my heart to shift to where I was like, wait a minute, I do desperately need to change. And I'm hearing the freedom that these people who are sharing their testimonies talk about. And I'm hearing the life change. And I'm like, I want that. I want less anxiety. I want contentment and peace. I want to not be strapped financially. I want to be like,
all the things that people were getting, I'm like, where's the line? I'm gonna get in line. They're
Well,
like,
that's like me too, because I'm like, I don't want my life to keep going like this.
no.
I'm like, and I don't know how to do that.
yeah.
And so I was like, how do I get myself back into a good rhythm? And
I
so I was
came
like,
in as skeptic.
yeah,
but
me too. I am
I
still
shifted.
a little bit. I don't know if I trust you people, but I'm like, I remember thinking for the first like 6 weeks, I'm like, is this a cult? Like, are these people? They always
true.
read these things and
Yeah.
do these things. I don't trust
Now
them.
some people
Yeah.
are going to go up and get a hug and a plastic chip. It's some big deal, but it really does work.
Yeah, well, and
There is
I want to.
something about the acceptance and
Yeah,
just a public surrender to say, hey, for this group that's here, I'm laying something down, and I
Yeah.
want you guys to walk with me as I journey through this, because it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I'm ready for it.
well, and I want to say that kind of leads me to my other thing I was thinking about when I was hearing Dana. You know, he comes into OpenShare and he says, all these guys, they were just talking. I'm like, what's
Fellas,
that? These
fellas.
fellas, yeah.
I love Dana
And
so
I'm
much.
like-
He's great.
And literally, I think it's one of the things that I miss the most about Celebrate Recovery right now, anyway,
Yeah.
is that we don't get to sit down and just talk through how we're doing.
Yeah.
Which is something I haven't really done much in my life. It wouldn't be normal for me to sit down and talk about me, right? And so it's interesting, especially I think from maybe my perspective or a guy's perspective, maybe to say, I'm going to go sit down and I'm just going to talk about how I am feeling, how I'm doing this week, what's going on in my heart.
Yeah.
I don't do that anywhere else. I don't do it just out in public as much as maybe I should even.
Yeah.
And so to not have that has been weird. But I'm like, Dana saying that, it's like,
A
it's like,
reminder.
I still wonder, like, I'm like, how does this really work? And I've got some ideas, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really knows. Which we're asking people to do something scary with Celebrate Recovery. We're saying, give up what you know, give up what has always kind of worked and given you comfort, been the place that you go, and try to do this thing that we can't really explain fully how come it works. I mean, Jesus and grace
Yeah.
and love and community, and I could add 10 things, right? But I'm like, but when you do this and you're desperate for change and you seek it with your whole heart and you want to be different, it works.
He's fired up.
Yeah. Well, and it does. It works. And so we don't know how it
Yeah.
does it. And I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead,
I'm
jump in.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
It reminds me of this video that we did when we had people talking about Celebrate Recovery. We've shared it on our page before, and at the end, Chad says, I can't tell you exactly how it works. I just know that it works if you work it. And we were viewing the video in front of some people, and somebody was like, he's the leader of CR. Shouldn't he be able to know how it works? And I it was kind of like, I took the bait, and I was like, well, can you tell me exactly how God's healing works? And he kind of looked at me, and I was like, it's the same kind of thing.
How about your cell phone?
I know. There are so many things that we trust that
Yeah.
we can't specifically say how they work, but man, they do, and it's fun for us to get to be a part of it.
Yeah. I want to say, and this is probably my last little thought on it, but
Okay.
like, there is a level of desperation that is required.
Yeah.
If you think you've still got it, or if I think I've still got it, I'll use I me statements. If I still think that I've got this figured out, that I've got the game or the plan or the way to protect myself or the money or the stuff,
Yeah.
right? If I still think I've got it, I don't got it, right? It will not work because I'll go back to my old habits, my old coping, my old way of doing it, and it's going to lead me right back to where I've always gone.
Isn't that salvation a little bit too, though?
Yeah.
I mean, like, in order to truly accept
Yeah.
what Christ did on the cross, we have to know that we need a Savior.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. I mean, I do believe that Celebrate Recovery leads people back to the cross, but I believe that there are a lot of people who still have their faith, but they don't have much else. And so they come into CR and they go, I want what the cross is supposed to give me, which is the freedom of this bondage that I've released to Christ. Why do I still have this bondage? Why am I still holding on to it? And so for us to be able to say, let us walk with you, it's really a discipleship program
Yeah.
to help people understand what God did for
Well,
us.
you just make me think of this verse that
We
says
just
that I
keep
have to
talking,
lose
I
my
keep-
life
Yeah.
so that I can be saved. The harder and stronger that I hold on to my way of doing it, the less desperate I think I am, right? The longer and harder it will be to get out of it, and the less freedom I have, because I'm always tied to something. We're all tied to something, whether it's our performance, whether it's work, whether it's alcohol, whether it's ministry.
and
It could be
hangups,
100
yeah.
things.
Comfort, coping skills.
We all have to be intentional about saying, I release this to you, God.
Yeah.
I give this to you. I give you my life. I give you my day. I give you my time. And if we don't do that, then we end up drowning because of it.
Yeah.
The thing that we thought was going to save us actually sucks us down and takes us away from the most important relationships in our life, family in our life. And I think sometimes we also come to recovery wanting it done. And this is the thing about Dana that's just true of him. He was just steadfast.
Yeah.
He just stayed with it.
And I guarantee you that if you get to ask Dana, and I know him well enough, I don't think he cares. Is his life better this year versus last? It's better this year.
Yeah.
And why is
It
it?
gets
Because he
better
just
every year.
keeps doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's not that it's an overnight fix. It's that
Yeah.
if you give yourself to this and you believe, I say give yourself to Jesus, give your life to Christ, and get into a community, I think CR, and be honest and vulnerable and transparent about how you're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, right? We're honest with each other. Then your life changes. And it doesn't change overnight, but I guarantee you, year over year, it gets better. Anyway.
I
Sorry.
got to reel him in, boss. He's getting
reeling me in. I'm all fired
okay,
up.
Listen, we thank you, Dana, so much. We so love you. Your forever family just is really been impacted just by your life change. I mean,
Dana's
appreciate that
touched my life, man.
that you shared mine too. Don't get me crying about it.
I know.
So now we're going to kick it back over to Justin, the Crosstown Band, and if you just even hearing Dana's testimony and hearing kind of what Chad and I have talked about, if you're in a place where you recognize, I want my life to change, I want something to be different. Maybe you've been at recovery for a long time, but you just in listening to us talk about it, recognize that there's still a lot that you're relying on yourself for, and you haven't really been desperate enough to completely turn it over, to die to your own will and your own desires, and to say, God, what do you have in store for me? Or maybe you're in a place where you feel like you have no worth, you have nothing to offer. Man, I would just love for you to be able to surrender those lies and take a blue chip and say, God, what do you have in store for me? It might just be helping one person in open chair find the healing that they need, or one person in step study. It might just be helping the person who's coming in right after you. I mean, that works in CR. I see it happen so much where God will just immediately start using you. He did it for me before I ever thought I was ready. And I still have incredible relationships with some of the women that I was able to invest in when I still thought I was a mess. But it's like he just uses the little bit that you've just taught. Now turn around and give it. I mean, that's what he does. And so
I just want to talk some more, but I'm going to try not to.
No, we got to kick it. We're going to kick it back
That's
over.
what faith is. You don't know how it works, and you got to go for it.
So we want to get you
And everybody's always a mess. I apologize.
Blue chip.
Go
We
ahead.
can mail it to you. We'll hold on to it for you. But we want to walk this journey with you. We'd love for you to join our Forever family if you're not already a part of it. If you already are, we just want to let you know you're not alone. We want to celebrate with you those things that you're surrendering. So as Justin plays this next song, if there's something that's just been prompted on your heart that God's asking you to lay down or to recommit or to recognize, just write in blue chip. You don't even have to put what it is. We just want to celebrate it with you. And we're going to be here on the other side of Justin just to wrap up after that. So let's kick it over to the Crosstown Band.
You stood before creation, eternity in your hand. You spoke the earth into motion, my soul now to stand. You stood before my failure, carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders, my soul now to stand. So what can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you. So I walk upon salvation, Spirit alive in me, my life to declare your promise, my soul now to stand. So what can I say? What can I do? And offer this heart, oh God, completely to What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart, oh God, completely to you. I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. So I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. And I'll stand, so Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours, and all I am is yours, and all I am is yours.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you,
Justin.
He didn't
Yeah.
know. He switched his background up to the brick, and he didn't even know that it's a brick theme tonight.
Isn't
That's-
that picture great too?
Yeah.
I love that art. Anyway,
I look forward to seeing the art every week.
I know, I'm,
how
like,
they're gonna
always kinda,
switch up
like,
the
curious.
shot. It's good.
uh,
I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh,
I was gonna apologize real
Yeah.
quick. Just YouTube. I started recording so if you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize. I started just a couple minutes late, and we'll get it straightened out. And it might take me another day to get it up there. No, I'll probably do it tonight, but it might take a little bit longer to get it up. But we will have it up. And again, sorry, I started recording. I just almost forgot.
that is something
so.
I want to say, though. If you want to watch it anonymously or more confidentially than the Facebook Live, you can either watch it after it's uploaded on Facebook, where it's not actually live. You can watch it and it doesn't show that you're watching it. Or in our Monday email or weekly email that we send out, it doesn't
Yeah.
always go out Monday. It goes out weekly, though. The email that goes
Our
out we put-
Wednesday email.
We put sometimes we put the YouTube link in it, and you can watch it on YouTube, completely anonymous. Nobody knows that you're watching.
Share that
it.
with your family
So
and
feel
friends
free,
too.
to share that if you want to. Okay, we're gonna kick it over. I thought I had something else I was gonna say, and I totally forgot. So maybe by the time we come back, I'll be able to.
I wonder
remember.
who's gonna get the last word today. Anyway.
We're going to kick it back over to Fayetteville for one of our amazing leaders who we love so much, Becky, and she's going to share the Serenity Prayer. Please read the Serenity Prayer along with her.
Hi, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ and I struggle with food issues. My name is Becky. Please join me in the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen.
Oh, I always love seeing everybody's face.
I know.
It's really fun.
I miss everybody.
I know. We still don't have any insight yet on when we're going to start back. It's probably going to be sometime in the fall. We're just really considering and trying to be mindful of those who are still getting sick or still being exposed, and we want to be mindful of that. And so we're going to keep doing this, though, even if we're on vacation. Coming to you live from Colorado, we're going to bring it
Sunday
to you
nights at 6. Wait a minute.
because you guys are forever family. We love you dearly. Thank you again, Dana, for sharing the interview, and thank you guys so much for continuing to tune in. We love getting together every Sunday night with our people. We love seeing the commentary We love seeing the interaction that you guys have. It means a lot to us, and I know from you guys that it means a lot to you too. So just a reminder, if you need anything that we can pray for you for or resources that we can provide for you, we would love to. In the meantime, stay safe, call your sponsor, reach out to your accountability. Even though this is an isolating season, it doesn't have to be lonely.
Yeah, totally agree.
Chad's going to now get the last word in as we tune out from Colorado.
I like having all the power. And maybe that's a thing. Maybe I need to add power
Blue
to my.
chip is needed probably for that, I think.
But no, we do. We miss you guys. We care about you guys. It's great to be here in Colorado, but we love you guys too there.
All the details for this year's online summit are in the comments. Make sure you register for that. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be really great. There's a lot of great stuff that you can watch.
I guess she gets the last word.
I'm going to try to, if he says something, say one more thing.
What? You can say one more thing. Go ahead. She didn't know I transitioned out of it.
So bad.